Hi everyone, my name is Tori, this is Novel Life, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really fun video where I'm going to be reacting to your recent 5-star reads. So I asked over on my Instagram, which is usually where I do the most of like my polls or like questions like this, where I'm like, hey, give me a book for this reason or that reason or whatever, just because it's easier to have like everything in one compact place. Doing it on the community tab is a little bit harder because you have to go through comments, but so make sure you follow me over there. It's always linked in the description box below. I also have a Patreon where I post like one unique or different video, different vlogs, different sit down chatty videos once a week. So if you want to join me over there, it's always in the description box. But like I said, in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to your recent 5-star reads, which I'm actually really excited to talk about some of these. I did glance through them, but I didn't like hardcore look at a lot of them. I got pages of responses, okay? So we have a lot to dive in, but let's just go ahead and get started. I have my phone here, so I'm very excited. Very excited. Okay. I love doing this just because I love seeing what your 5-star reads are, because then like maybe I'll pick some of them up based on that. So we'll see how many I read from this list or how many I have read. Okay. The first one is Out of Love by Julie Ann. So I think this is one that I have not read by Julie Ann. Let me look it up. I'm not going to do this for everyone because I can't really remember covers that much. Okay, yeah, this one has been out for a while. I think the audio is on Hoopla, if I'm not mistaken. It's interesting that someone said this is their favorite. Conspiracy, corruption, serial killers. You name it, I'm fascinated by that. Oh, she goes to college to get away from her dad. That's very overbearing. Oh, it's in the Jack and Jill series. Okay. I don't really have any desire to read that one, but I'm glad that you liked it and it was a recent 5-star read for you. Another one said Better Than the Movies. I've never heard of that book in my life. Oh, Lynn Painter. Oh, I have heard of this author. Oh, it's a cartoon cover. Oh my God, it's $9.99 for the Kindle, but the paperback's $9.49. How does that make sense? Make it make sense. I don't think this is an adult book. Oh, it's a teen and young adult comedy, a romantic comedy. That's not really my thing. I don't do well with romantic comedies, so I'll probably skip that one, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Okay. The next one is Mercy by Sarah Kate, which I do love this series. My favorite in this series is Praise by Sarah Kate. It's the first one I've read. Mercy's okay, but I think it's in the series, I think it's like third from the top. So it's like right in the middle. It's good. I like a female dom and I like what she did. I just wanted more of her story, not so much Bo's story. Someone said Strictly Pleasure by Carrie Elks, which I'm assuming it's very similar to Mercy. Someone said Kiss of Darkness by Taylor Ashton White. Let's see what this is, because that seems like a spooky book and I'm interested. Oh, it's a dark paranormal romance. Okay, the cover is not my favorite. Is it sci-fi? I think this is sci-fi. Superhero science, werewolf shifter. That sounds like not my thing. Sci-fi, anything like paranormal with sci-fi is not really my thing. I can't do it. Okay, someone said Home Run Proposal by Marion Moore. So I, of course, know the person who sent this in, and yes, I will be reading it. Tabitha, I will be reading it, okay? So this is apparently a baseball romance set in New Orleans. And if you know me, I love any book set in New Orleans just because I grew up there. So it's like nostalgic for me, right? But I've heard the best things about this book. The cover is not my favorite. I'm not the fan of like cartoon-esque covers, but I think it gets the vibe of the book very well. So I do have this downloaded on my Kindle already. I do hope to get to it soon. I've heard really good things. Usually if Tabitha likes a book and she like personally recommends it to me, I'm going to love it. So yes, I'm getting to it. Another one said The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I recently read this in September, devoured this book. So it's one of those books where I was just like sitting with it and I would like devour 100 pages at a time and just like really sit in the book, which made it a 5-star read for me. So yes, this is also one of my recent 5-star reads. I do hope The Home Run Proposal is one of my 5 stars because I'm hoping that like I can have a sports romance that's like a highly rated one. Someone said The One I Want by Siobhan Davis. I think this is their new one. Hang on. Some of my friends were talking about this book. The One I Want, angsty, emotional, standalone, contemporary romance. Okay, but I don't like this cover. I don't like the cover model. It is almost 800 pages. Why? Okay, but the tatted biker crossed with a billionaire kind of gets me. For fans of Friends to Lovers, Second Chance, Love Triangle, angsty, ugly cry romances. It doesn't have a cliffhanger, thank God, but I don't really like love triangles, so that's like lower down on my list. Someone said Empire of Lust, which I have not heard of that one. That's why I like doing this too. Oh, J.L. Beck. Okay. Oh, you know what? I have this saved as a favorite on Hoopla because the audio is on Hoopla. I don't know what it's about though. At 16 years old, I fell for the wrong man. Ruthless billionaire. Dangerous villain, my best friend's father. Get out. Okay, so that is definitely going up. He's 20 years older than me and an arms dealer for the mob. Dominant and possessive, he praises and worships me. Okay, I definitely put this one higher on my list because of that. I did not know that's what it was. So, yeah. Okay. Someone said In the Gray by BB Reed. This is BB Reed's most recent release. I hadn't heard the best things about it when it came out. Like, I wanted to pick it up, but then the reviews were like getting lower and lower as the book was out for more time. So, that one's kind of like lower on my list. Okay, someone put a lot of books. The Cruel Dark, The Hurricane Wars, Foxglove, Love Theoretically, and Fourth Wing. So Fourth Wing, yes, love that. Read that over the summer. Favorite fantasy romance. Foxglove is one that I'm hoping is going to be a 5-star read. It's the follow-up to Belladonna by Adeline Grace, which I loved Belladonna. Love Theoretically, I gave that 2.5 stars. I was very bored by that book. It was incredibly long. And the other ones I haven't heard of. Okay, so someone said After You by Sam Mariano. You guys know Even If It Hurts by Sam Mariano is one of my favorites. Love that book by her. I have read Untouchable. And because we don't get the we don't get Carter's point of view, I'm kind of like, wasn't my favorite, but it was highly rated. Oh, this cover is very different for Sam Mariano. I don't like it. Oh, this is not a standalone. Okay. I have to read book 2, or I have to read book 1. Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm glad that you liked it. Oh, someone said Anti-Heroes in Love Duet. I get so excited when someone says that the Anti-Heroes in Love Duet is one of their 5-star reads, or like recent 5-star reads, or one of their favorite books, because that is literally one of my all-time favorite duets of all time. Like, ride or die for that duet. Let me just tell you. Someone said Choosing Their Omega by Sadie Moss. I'm assuming this is an Omegaverse. I do not like Omegaverse. I wouldn't say, okay, I don't like it. I just haven't read it in a very, very, very long time. And that's not something that kind of like interests me, because usually that person is like being used by multiple people, and I have to be in the mood for that, you know? So, I mean, I'm glad you like it, but it's not really for me. Someone said Caressed by Ice by Nalini Singh. So Nalini Singh is an author I want to read more from. She has a massive backlist. Like what series is it called? The Angels, whatever series that is. I'm on book 7 of that series. I cannot think of the actual series. But I love the original couple, so that's why I'm like slowly trekking along. But she has another series that's long. I think this one is also in like a standalone or in another series by her. She literally has the longest backlist, and she's been writing for a very long time. Someone said One Last Shot by Nikki Castle. I am so glad. I am Tori, and I am Nikki Castle's #1 fangirl, okay? I love her to pieces. I love her as a person, but I also love her as an author. I loved One Last Shot by Nikki Castle. I think she's just an amazing writer, and I want her to write more, and I cannot wait to read whatever else she publishes. But yeah, this is her newest release in the Fight Game series. Someone said God of Malice. Okay, I tried God of Malice by Rena Kent. I think it was God of Malice, whatever the first one in that series was, and I just gave it 2 stars. I absolutely hated it. I don't like the way Rena Kent writes some of her main male characters. She tries to write them as like these psychopaths, sociopaths, whatever you want to call it, super dark characters, do bad things, but still like end up being redeemed and, you know, fall in love and have an HEA at the end of their books. And I don't like that, the way she writes that, like the way that she tells the story. I do know someone said that one of the 5th book in this series is like one of the best or whatever. Am I really going to sit through the whole series and like hate some of the books just to get to one good one? No, not going to waste my time. Someone said Kimura Chronicles. I didn't read book 4 though. I do like books 2 and 3 in that series. That's one of my favorites in that series. Someone said Garen Park. I do know the author. I have it downloaded on my Kindle. It's an MM. They ride dirt bikes. And that's the only reason why I downloaded it. I'm interested. It's on my Kindle. Will I get to it this month? I don't know, but it's on my radar at least. Someone said Pucking Wild. I think this is Emily Rath's series. It's Why Choose. I don't do Why Choose. I'm glad you like it though. I do know a friend. I think Jess at Peace Love Books loved this series, or one of the books, Pucking Around. I think that's one of the books in the series that they like. Death by Daybreak MC. I've never heard of this, so let's see what it's about. Oh, it's a reverse harem motorcycle club by C.M. Stunich. Oh, I'm probably butchering that. I have heard of this author, but I don't do Why Choose. Sorry. Someone said Maestro. Now listen, this book is so ridiculously long, and I do know some friends that love it. I just don't know if I could sit through an 800 contemporary romance. Like, I have to have the time to. Like, I have to be in the mood for that type of contemporary romance. It's going to be that long. So I don't know if I'll read that. I don't know. Someone said I Could Never by Penelope Ward. I do know that the autism representation of a side character is done really well, but there are some things that were told to me about this book that kind of it's like off-putting to me, so I don't know if I'll pick it up. Also, Penelope Ward is not my favorite romance author, so someone said Bully. I'm assuming Bully by Penn Douglas. I've not read this series, but I want to. Someone also said Tris Six Venom by Penn Douglas. I'm actually reading that book this month. It's on my Penn Douglas shelf right behind me. I'm reading that for a Patreon exclusive reading vlog. I always have my patrons pick the top 2 books out of 5 that I give them, and this was one of them, so I'm extremely excited. Someone said Weightless by Candy Steiner. I recently read Weightless by Candy Steiner, and I think this is one of the first books that she published. I was very surprised of how kind of like a emotional book it was, but with the female character's journey. Like, that's why it became emotional, but the romance was also really good. Someone said Luna and the Lie by Marietta Zapata. I have not read that one, but I've heard very good things about it. Black Swan Affair. I think this is by K.L. Craig. I have read this. It's a love triangle. I have read that one. Losers Part 1 and Part 2. I do not do Why Choose, so I do know that is Why Choose. Someone said The Naked Fisherman Duet by Julianne. I'm actually reading this book as well for a Patreon exclusive read-along that I do. So every 2 months, I pick a series, either 2, 3, or 4 books, depending like page length. I give my patrons like 4 or 5 options, and they choose, and they chose The Naked Fisherman Duet. So I'm currently reading that now. By the time you see this video, I think I will already have my live show for it. It's on September 18th. I think this video is going up on September 19th. So yeah, I am reading that. Someone said Burned Dreams by Neva Altaj. So I have read a couple books by Neva Altaj that I have enjoyed. I just haven't continued on in this series. I think it's part of the same series. Someone said Red, White, and Royal Blue. Okay, so I read the book 2 years ago now. I think I read 2 years ago, and I recently watched the movie. And while I don't remember a lot of details of the book, I would say the movie is a very, very, very good movie, or very, very good adaptation of the book. There's a lot of scenes that were in the movie that I loved, that were from the book that I wanted to be in the movie. Also, I think that the chemistry between the 2 main characters was so good. Like, I think they made the fucking movie, and I think it was absolutely amazing. So I'm glad you liked the book. Someone said another C.M. Stunich book, but I've never heard of that one. Someone said Irreparable Damage by Sam Mariano. That is just like asking for emotional damage. Someone also said Baby Moon or Bust by Ava Hunter. So I read Ava Hunter's original 4 books that she's written. I did a read along, I think earlier this year. Yeah, I'm pretty sure earlier this year, after I got her books as like a giveaway. I won it off of her author page. But this is like either Surprise Pregnancy, Secret Baby, one of those books. That is not my favorite thing to read, so I'm skipping this one. I have heard it's very cute, and I've heard it's good, and I'm glad everyone enjoys it. It's just not my cup of tea, so I'm not going to read it. Someone said Heartless by Elsie Silver. I mean, Heartless is one of my favorite books of last year. Loved Heartless. Glad that you loved it. And then another Maestro. Like, I know a lot of people love it. It's either a lot of people love it or some people just don't think it's worth the read because it's so long. So I'm still going back and forth. Someone put another Rena Kent, God of Ruin. I'm pretty sure it's in that same series. I don't know if I'm going to get to that series just because I'm hit or miss with that. Someone said The Crown of Oaths and Curses by Jay Bree. I am waiting for a couple people who have read a lot of fantasy romances to read this book and tell me their thoughts so I can kind of gauge if I should pick it up sooner rather than later, any of those things. Someone said Aka War. Oh my God, listen. Welcome to Sarah J. Maas's universe where you get destroyed by all of her books, and Aka War is one of them. So, Manacled. You guys know I read Manacled this year. One of my favorite books of the year. I have a whole sit-down video where I talk about my thoughts after I read it because I just stayed in bed for 2 days and finished most of the book. That is also on my Patreon. You can go watch that. Someone said The Wolf and the Wildflower. I think this is by Stacey Reed. This is another Stacey Reed that is on my radar. I read the second book that's a follow-up or after this one, and it was okay. It was okay. Deathly by Bryn Asher. I've never read anything by Bryn Asher. I lied. I think I have, but it's been a very long time since I have read it. Someone said Glow by Raven Kennedy. Okay, I did try to read the first book in this series and I couldn't get through it, so I DNF'd it. Tell me if I should give it a try. I don't know. Tell me if I should give that series a try. Another Rena Kent, God of Pain. All right. I know Rena Kent's for some people. I just don't know if she's for me. I may give her another try, like a one last chance. I may do a vlog of that where I give authors like literally one last chance to like win me over, and then that's it. Rena Kent is one of them that I have for that video. Someone said Home Game by Odette Stone. I love this series. I think Puck Me Secretly is my favorite in that series, but that's a very good series all around. I have to get to the 4th book though. Pucking Around by Emily Rath, another good one. Two Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe Leese. This is actually one of Chloe Leese's books that I have not read. I think this might be the only one that she has published and available now that I haven't read. Ooh, someone said Ghosted by J.M. Darhauer. I have heard a lot of good things about this book, and I want to get to it. Someone said Parallel by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I loved Parallel when I read it. And then someone said Requiem by Callie Hart. I love that because I loved Requiem when I read it last year. And I know a lot of people it's not for them, but I'm glad you liked it. Someone said Shattered Truths by Helena Hunting. This is another book that I have downloaded on my Kindle because it recently came out at the end of August. It is the 3rd book in her Truths. What is it called? Lies, Hearts, and Truths series. Guardian of the Drowned Empire by Frankie Diane Malice. I've never heard of that. Someone also said Manacled, another Manacled. So happy. Stolen Touches by Neva Altaj. This is another book in that series that I have not got to yet, but I heard that the representation is good. Rule Number 5, based on my recommendation. Thank you. I'm glad you picked it up. I loved Rule Number 5. I have to get to the 2nd book because that recently came out, I think in the last month or two. There's just been a lot of new releases that I want to read that I just get backed up. Like I literally just get backed up with them. The Wild Air by Karina Halley. I've heard this is their favorite in this series. Some of my friends love it. So I only have a couple left, but someone said On the Shore by Laura Pavlov. On the Shore is one that I want to read. Is that the one I'm on? No. The 2nd book in that series is the one that I'm on. But like she releases them like every 2 months. And for me, that is like so quick. Like so quick to like get caught up. Like I said, there's a lot of new releases I want to read. Someone said When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I've read The Green Cover by Sarah Adams, but I have not read this one. But I've heard that they're closed door, but I did like the one that I read, even though it was closed door. It was still a really good book. So someone said Blame It on the Alcohol series. Love that by Fiona Cole. My favorite is Blame It on the Vodka, the Best Friends to Lovers one. Rising by Macaulay Smeltzer. That's her new one I have not read. For the Fans, loved For the Fans, 4 stars, Love and M and Bromance. Reckless by Elsie Silver. That one is one that definitely made me tear up. It is a surprise pregnancy, surprisingly, that I liked. And then someone said One Look by Lena Hendricks. I loved One Look. One Touch was not my favorite, but One Chance, which is coming out soon. It's a pinkish cover. Very excited for that one. Very excited. Those are all the recent 5-star reads that you guys left me on my Instagram. Thank you so much if you left me a comment in my little question box. I love doing this. Let me know if you want to see another video like this or something similar. And what kind of theme would it be? Like reacting to your blah, blah, blah. Let me know in the comments down below. For the emoji, drop me a camera emoji just because on Instagram it's all about the pictures, you know, all of that. Drop it in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content for me. As always, I hope you live your novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.